This story is based on reality. Please subscribe to our channel so you don't miss our next videos. Acceptance. Many guests had come to welcome the village pilgrim, but he was looking for his bride with only his eyes. After reading Shavash, he was in a hurry to see his bride as soon as possible. In the crowd, everyone was looking for him to find him, until he entered the yard and saw him holding a pecan in his hand. The bride came forward with her usual politeness and greeted her father-in-law and accepted the pilgrimage. As soon as Hajjat saw his bride, Bashtab asked, "Where have you been?" "I have a question, bride." "What did you do?" The bride, who was surprised by her father-in-law's words, lowered her head and did not say anything. He suddenly came to his senses, and a cold sweat appeared on his forehead. The presence of many guests and villagers did not allow Haji to talk more. But his mind was still occupied with his bride, and he was in such an anxious state until the guests left at the end of the night, and the yard was occupied by a symphony of crickets. Hajj Hassan slowly walked with the sobriety that befits those who have gone to Hajj and approached his son's room. At the same time, his daughter-in-law came out of the room and shyly greeted her father-in-law with a sheep's head in her hand, and ran away. Hajj Hassan called out in a serious tone mixed with violence, "Bride, I'm talking to you. Let's sit by the pool." The bride, who was filled with stress, answered slowly, "Haji Baba. Now that I'm busy, I have a lot of time." But Hajj Hassan did not hesitate and did not allow him to leave his side. He knew that his daughter-in-law was going to dodge, and he also realized that something was hidden from his view. Therefore, he insisted more and took his bride to the side of the pond to talk to her and unravel this secret. He repeated his words seriously but calmly. "Well, my bride is waiting. I didn't get the answer to my question. What did you do during this time? And I don't know." The fear that covered the entire being of the bride. She looked at her father-in-law's eyes with horror and asked, "Why do you have such a question? Did something happen? Did someone say something?" Hajj Hassan replied with seriousness and pause. No. Just tell me, what did you do during this time?" Haji ate his words and could not continue. He stared at the image of the fish that appeared in the water of the pond and went through his memories in deep silence. Haji's heavy silence was broken by the bride with her trembling voice. "Haji Baba, did something happen? What happened?" Hajj Hassan turned to his daughter-in-law and replied seriously, "My daughter, just tell me what you did." "I am waiting for the bride, knowing that she has no way back and no way forward, and she finds no excuse to hide something." The bride opened her mouth with fear. "Haji Baba, if I say that you promise to be between us, won't Mother Jan understand anything?" Hajj Hassan, who was curious, answered impatiently, "Tell me, I promise. I just want to know what you did, and I don't know." With a thin voice mixed with fear, the bride swallowed hard and continued, "Do you know Mesh Kamalo's bride? She gave birth last week." Hajj Hassan was silent and listened carefully to his teacher like a primary school child. The bride added, "A month ago, when I was washing clothes in the yard, I heard her crying. She was saying sadly, 'Oh, I want lamb food. But what a pity that neither my husband nor my father-in-law can buy lamb meat.'" The words of Mesh Kamal's bride were like a dagger to my heart. I couldn't ignore her words and forget her. I was thinking of a solution to somehow get this pregnant woman some mutton, that's why. When she got to this point, she kept silent. Hajj Hassan, who was excited by the excitement of his bride's words, hurriedly asked, "What is this?" "What did you do for that girl?" The bride said anxiously, "Haji Baba, I am ashamed that I did not tell you. God forgive you. Believe me, I had no other choice." Hajj Hassan interrupted him and yelled in a tone that had the taste of violence due to impatience. Please tell me. What did you do, bride? I don't invite. I don't tell anyone. The bride, who had calmed down, answered in a low voice. I happened to see one of the lambs in the barn suffocating, so I hurriedly told Mother Jan that a lamb had suffocated in the barn. Mother Jane was busy with her grandchildren and did not have time to come. It's long, he replied without pause. Put the tiger in the ditch. I'm busy. I happily cut off the head of the lamb very quickly, peeled the skin, and gave the whole lamb meat to the neighbor's daughter-in-law, saying it was an offering. When the bride got to the end of her words, she did not stop crying and kept apologizing to her father-in-law and asking for permission for donating a lamb without permission, and she kept repeating, "Believe me, I will make up for it myself. Tomorrow I will go to Share and sell my necklace and buy a lamb of the same kind." Hajj Hassan shook his head and said, "So, that's it." The bride lowered her head in embarrassment and did not say anything. She was expecting a fierce fight from her father-in-law, and Hajj Hassan continued with a calm tone that comes from inner happiness. "You know, my daughter, I was inside the Shajari Mosque when I said the last kiss in complete disbelief in the first row. I saw an acquaintance who was standing and saying kiss. I sharpened my eyes to see again, but he was lost in the crowd. The first time we entered Masjid al-Haram, we prostrated. And when I lifted my head from prostration, I saw the same person in front of me. While I was completing my 7th round of tawaf, I saw the same acquaintance who was doing tawaf in front of me. I was joking and mentioning it, but again I was surprised to see him in Safa. I increased my speed to blame before him, but he did not blame and left. I was hugging the Quran in Masjid al-Nabi and shedding tears when that familiar person appeared in front of me in Rizvan. I stood up and searched for him, but there was no trace of him. In the deserts of Arafat and Mina, Rami Jamrat was ahead of me everywhere. He was there, and he did the deeds better than me. While returning from the Hajj ceremony, all my luggage was the picture of that familiar person everywhere in the Hajj ceremonies and rituals. And a big question mark. What is the wisdom in this story? The bride, whose eyes were wide and was listening to her father-in-law's words with surprise, asked Hajj Hassan in a low voice, "Haji Baba, who was that familiar that appeared in front of your eyes?" Haji, with tears streaming down his face, smiled and kissed his bride's forehead, and said the proof of acceptance of my daughter. That familiar person was none other than yourself. I saw you everywhere in my journey. Now I understand why you surpassed me in Hajj rituals like this.
لن تنالوا البر حتى تنفقوا مما تحبون وما تنفقوا من شيء فإن الله به عليم.
God says in verse 92 of Surah Al-Imran, "You will never reach the position of the righteous, and you will not reach the special things of God, except that which you love and is very beloved in. Spend in the way of God, and whatever you spend, God is aware of it,